Well, hi. Remember the fry bread we made in one of my last videos? Well, guess what? We're going to make a fry bread pizza in a frying pan, not in the oven. And we'll see how it turns out. First of all, I saved one of my fry breads. Simply going to put it in the pan. And get it to warming up. And I'm not putting it on high. I'm putting it on a low heat. I'm going to put on some tomato paste. This is for some of the times that you don't want to get your oven going. Or maybe you don't have an oven. Maybe you live in a dorm. And you would like to make a pizza. Well, if you can make a piece of fry bread, you can make a pizza. And the toppings are up to you, but you know you always start off with your tomato sauce. And it does stick to your spoon. There, that should be plenty. And I'll save that sauce for something else. Maybe for another pizza. I don't know. Now we're going to add our cheese. And I've just got plain old mozzarella cheese. Go ahead and use up that bag. And you can use the amount of cheese that you would like on yours. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the cheese, I think. Close that back up. And I've got a little bit of triple cheddar here that I'm going to use. It's got finely shredded Vermont cheddar, sharp cheddar, and mild cheddar. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to throw a little bit of that on there. Not much at all. Just enough to give it a cheddar flavor. I'm going to put a little bit of onion because I love onion on mine. We'll slice up a couple of olives. And like I said, the toppings are up to you. And I didn't dress for this video. I'm just in my old shorts and stuff I wear around the house all the time. And you want to turn it down on really low heat. And I always forget my pan because I want this heat to be distributed like a little oven. It doesn't take much of this either because it's just a little one. So like I said, you can put as much or as little of your toppings on there because this is your pizza. And we're going to put a lid on that. Not sure what my lid is. Now, you have to put it on really low heat for that pan to heat up because you want the top to get hot and you don't want the bottom to burn. Oh no, do you ever get hold of a container that you know the lid goes on it, but it doesn't want to fit right? I mean, I don't know what the deal is with this. It's the right lid, but it doesn't go on correctly. There, that's good. And really, it's not going to take long at all for that to cook. In reality, all you got to do is let the cheese, the onions, and that type of stuff cook at the top. But it's a way you can get a thick crust pizza if you like a thick crust without a lot of fuss. Because we had already made our quick bread. We made that in one of the other videos that I did. And what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to let that cook. It's got to heat up to where it melts the cheese and everything in there. So it's warming up good. I mean, it may take 20-30 minutes for that to cook, as good as I want it to cook. So I'll bring you back. Well, it's been cooking for about 30 minutes, but I think we may need to leave it in there a little bit longer. I want to check the bottom, make sure it's not burning. It's not, but it's getting really good and crusty. That's what we want. Turned up the heat just a little bit. Oh, I can't wait to dig into it. I didn't eat breakfast this morning, and I decided I wanted to fix this individual pizzas for my lunch and my dinner. And decided I'd go ahead and video it since I already had everything ready to do it. But yeah, this is a thought, like if you are just an individual person and you don't want that much fry bread, from the recipe that I did, and say you live in a dorm and you don't have a oven to cook in, you can always use a frying pan with a hot plate, and make your fry bread first, maybe the day before. Eat the fry bread you want, and then save at least one of the fry breads for the next day, and you can make yourself an individual pizza just in a little frying pan. I know there was a time my son, he lived in this apartment, and in order to get close to his job and afford the rent, he got this apartment that was upstairs above this guy's garage. And I tell you, this apartment was, it was unreal. I mean, I don't think they ever cleaned the carpet. The refrigerator did work. The stove didn't work. So you couldn't cook, basically. So what I did, I found this little cooker. It was a round cooker, just about the right size to put a small pizza in. And you could use it to fry things like your bacon and eggs for breakfast, you could fry in it. It was kind of deep, so if you wanted to cook a stew or something like that, you had room in that cooker to do that. And he said, Mom, I couldn't believe it the first time I ever put a frozen pizza in there. It browned it and cooked it just like it did if it had been in the oven. And he said that little cooker saved his life, because using that, he didn't need to use the oven or the stove. And thank goodness, because like I said, it didn't work. I mean, people should have reported that landlord, but I guess they needed the apartment too bad, even in the condition it was in, to report him. But needless to say, my son didn't stay there too long before he was, saved up enough to where he could get a decent apartment. And that was real close to the job. So, but anyway, like if you live in a dorm, you're a single person like me, and you don't always want to turn on the oven to cook stuff. This is a great alternative just to fixing a small individual pizza for yourself for your meal. And if you don't want the crust as thick as this, because we made 3 fry breads from half a recipe that I made, 7-inch crust. You can always cut them into 4 or 5 balls. Roll your crust out as flat as you can get it to at least make it 7 inches. That way your crust on your pizza will be thinner. But it's up to you. I like mine thick on something like this. I don't mind the thickness. Usually if I make a regular pizza, I go for the more thinner crust, because I don't usually want to eat all bread. But this one I will, because I love this fry bread. I mean, the fry bread itself tastes so good. And to fix it on a pizza like this is unreal. Yeah, my cheese is melting really good. And you know, sometimes I would only eat half of one of these individual pizzas and save the rest for my dinner tonight. So we'll see how it goes. I know I'm pretty hungry, but I don't know if I can eat the whole thing. That's a lot. So yeah, there's always ways to come up with preparing stuff that's a lot simpler, to where you can accommodate yourself if you don't have an oven, you know. Say all you got is a burner or an electric skillet or something like that. You can make your pizza. Because you saw when I made my quick bread, my fry bread yesterday, I didn't use the oven to cook it in. It was fixed in the frying pan with virtually no grease or no olive oil. I did put a little, because I'm just one that I like the crispiness of my food when you have just a tiny drop of olive oil in your pan. So I'm going to be anxious to dig into this pizza. Let's see the time on this. It already fixed me some Coca-Cola. And I don't know what I did bending over like I had to fix my toilet. Twisting my neck the way I did. Somehow I got a nerve pinched up in the top of my shoulder up here. So if I turn my head certain ways it hurts, or if I move my arm certain ways it hurts. But hopefully, you know, me taking it easy the rest of the day and using an ice pack on my neck, by tomorrow I should be okay. Hopefully, anyway. Yeah, using a thick lid like this, or any type of a lid that you can put on top of your pan, it turns it into a little oven, because the top will heat up and it reflects the heat back down on your food to act just like a mini oven, basically. And I get over anxious when I'm cooking. I like to eat. Oh, that smells so good. Smells just like pizza, y'all. Which it is. Your fry bread is basically pizza dough, because you put your yeast, your olive oil, milk or water, you let it rise. The only difference is you didn't put it in the oven, you fixed it in a frying pan. And your dough is basically already cooked. So all you got to do is get it hot and cook the you know your toppings that's on your pizza. And in doing so, it'll crisp up the bottom of the fry bread to make it crispy, kind of like a pizza dough. It's kind of like watching a pot of boiling water, or a pot of water waiting for it to boil. Seem like it's never going to happen. I get anxious. I just want to dig in and eat it. You can tell I love to eat. I love food. There's hardly any food that I will not eat. I mean, I draw my line at escargot. I will not touch that. Anything that crawls around as slimy as a snail, I'm not putting in my mouth. And I'm sure there's a few other items that I couldn't think of right off the top of my head that I wouldn't eat. But there's not much in this world that I wouldn't try. I'm watching the clock because I want to see the exact time on this. I used to use my electric skillet, but guess what? I used it so much, I burned it out. I got rid of it, and I never have replaced it. Which I probably should replace it. That way I'll use my skillet more than I will my frying pan, but it's all going to cost in the end. I mean, if you use electric skillet, it's going to cost in electricity. If you use the top of your stove, it's going to cost me in gas. So yep, I think we can turn it off. And serve up our pizza. Don't that look good? Put that back to the back burner. Get it out of my way. Find my pizza cutter. I didn't even think to look for it a while ago. I know it's in here somewhere. There it is. I know I've got a lot of utensils in my little rack. Well, maybe I needed it on some flat surface to try to cut it. Put it on there to cut it. Maybe that'll work out better. The ingredients back on my pizza. You hear the crunch of that bread. Now, it's too hot to bite into, y'all. But look at that. And I thought you were watching me cut it. I'm sorry about that. I put it out off the plate onto the cutting board because my plate is not flat and it was sliding. It was too hard to try to cut it. So I moved it over on the cutting board to try to cut it. So what I would do if you try fixing the pizza like this, go ahead and fix your flatbread or fry bread the day before. And like I said, you can divide it up, your dough, to where you can make thinner fry bread. You don't have to make it as thick as I did this. But if you like a thick crust, this will be perfect. And it's too hot for me to bite into, so I'm not going to burn my mouth. But there you go. Doesn't that look good? And I'm always on this side. Let me see. See how it worked to get on this side for a change. But there you go. There is you a no-bake pizza. And I got it in a shadow. There. No-bake pizza, y'all. And I have no makeup on. I wasn't going anywhere this morning, but guess what? I guess I'm going all over the world with this video, aren't I? Because there's going to be thousands of people looking at it, or millions even. But there's your no-bake pizza, y'all. If you live in a dorm or a small apartment, you live by yourself, you don't want to get the oven going, you want a quick pizza, there it is. Just leave it in your frying pan on low for about, I'd say 40 minutes. But keep watching your crust because you don't want your crust to burn. I mean, mine's not burnt, but it is browned like it is when you get it at the pizza restaurants. So there you go. No-bake pizza using fry bread. Y'all have a blessed day. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye now. I'm going to enjoy my pizza.